Hello and welcome to the Slingshot channel with the most brutal review of one of the most unusual cell phones that the world has ever seen. The Ulefone Armor 13. Let me show you its features. Okay, so why is the Slingshot channel now reviewing a phone? Well, you know, I get lots and lots and lots of invitations to test stuff. So many people want me to test all kinds of things. I mean, even stuff that makes my hair grow back. I mean, it's a hopeless case, right? And in 99.99% of all cases, I decline. I won't even answer, because then all they do is send you more of the stuff. In any case, when Ulefone sent me an invitation, this got me thinking, because I didn't know that this actually exists. Because this is a phone that is very different from the phones that I'm used to. You know, I'm an iPhone type of guy. I always had an iPhone. I bought the first one when it came out, and I've been addicted to these things, ever since. I actually did experiment with the Samsung once, but I didn't really like it, so I went back to the iPhone. For me, a phone is a very important tool because, I'm making my living on being on the internet. So a smartphone is an incredibly important tool for me. And the iPhone actually, you know, I always buy a new one every 2 years, so I skip one generation. But truth be told, you know, the main reason why I do it is because the battery is dying on me. Otherwise, I don't really need more CPU power. I don't need a different display size. The camera is kind of important for me, but ever since the iPhone 7 came out, that was all of the camera that I needed. So, yeah, kind of nice to have a new phone, but is it really doing anything for me? No, not really. So, but then all the other phones are like all the same again. I mean, where's the difference now between all the top-of-the-line cell phones? But Ulefone did something completely different. I think they invented a phone that has a different approach, and it actually works well with me, and maybe even with you. So how does this phone differ from normal phones? Well, first of all, it's a lot thicker. As you see, this at the thickest point is like 3 centimeters, and this one is only 13 millimeters. So it's more than twice as big. It's actually 2.5 times or something. But also way heavier. I mean, this weighs like 500 grams, which is more than a pound. So this is also several times heavier, but there's a reason for it, because there's a huge battery in this. Yes, the battery has 13,200 milliampere hours. This has no meaning to me, that number, but it means that you have to charge it every fortnight. While this, if I forget to charge it just one night, then the next day I'm, effed. So I love the fact that this is heavy, because I'm a man. I don't have a problem with heavy things, but I love the fact that I can keep using this for days and days and days and days, and it never dies on me. That's a huge advantage, I think. Another huge advantage is the embedded distance measuring device. So this means that there is a little laser embedded and an infrared distance calculator. So I just switch on the infrared, and then it gives me a laser pointer, and I can direct this at anything, like the wall here. Then I can measure it, and it comes back with the result. In this case, 3.446 meters. I think that's amazing. And I actually tested it in bright sunlight. It doesn't go that far. But on a cloudy day, even 35 meters is not a problem for this thing. So I can even check out my target distances. I love that fact. And definitely if you work in renovating a house, this is super helpful. Then what I really love is they put in an FM radio, but with an integrated antenna and working over the speakers. This means that I can listen to the radio in my workshop without having to be online, without taking any data, because my workshop doesn't have Wi-Fi. So this is actually a great advantage. And all I have to do is switch it on. Yeah, I know it's German, blah, blah, so you can't really do anything with it. If I would play music, YouTube would immediately throw a copyright issue at me. So, sorry for, but I think that's a great feature, and it actually has a lot of appeal to me. Since the battery is so big, I can let this play for days on time, and it's not gonna be empty. And this thing also has a great camera with like 4 different cameras in the front and also 4 LED lights. It also has a very nice front camera. Now maybe the iPhone camera is a little bit better, but I wouldn't notice the difference. I honestly have to say this camera is great for me. It works fantastic. And it also has a video camera that can record high speed in 240 frames, I believe. So it really has everything that I also use on the iPhone. And I think for the price it's a great deal. And then of course it has dual SIM card functionalities, everything that a modern telephone really needs. You also get a ton of additional stuff, like lots of cabling, a very powerful power supply so you can charge it quickly, but also 2 different holders. One is just like a clamp, I misplaced it somewhere, and the other one is this hook. And I actually love it because this means that I can just hook it to whatever, you know, working clothes I'm using, and this allows me to not lose it ever. So I like that feature here. You can actually also buy an inexpensive endoscope camera for it, and then you can actually go to places where no one has been before, if you know what I mean. So for example, I can inspect the barrel of my gun here. I think by now you understood that I actually love this phone because it's a man's phone. This is really a man's phone. It's heavy, it lasts forever, it doesn't require attention. It covers so many use cases that no other phone covers. So, and then for a price of just 409 euros, I think it's a major steal. I put the link to Amazon down there for you, and if you order through these links, I'm getting a few pennies, and that would make me happy. But the real reason why I wanted to have a phone like this is because they told me I can do with it whatever I want. One of the features that I haven't talked about is that it's supposed to be watertight, it's supposed to be shockproof, it's supposed to survive things that a normal phone will not survive. And they came to the right address for that. I'm certain I can break it. The question is not if I will break it, the question is at what point it will break. So we're going to take this through some good old torture session. And you know, if we really test how tough things are here at the Slingshot channel, the first thing we do is we make a launcher for them. So I made this Ulefone launcher, chambered for the 30mm Ulefone. Let me show you its features. This is very much an old school Slingshot channel launcher. Lots of TheraBand gold, actually 2 full sets on both sides, and you just cock it by pulling back the bands like so. Okay, then we let go. There's a lot of tension here of these bands, and then it's a muzzle loader, so you put the phone in, pull the trigger, bang. And I will of course not start by just dropping the phone from here and so on, just because, I mean, every modern phone will survive that. Come on, I mean, if you have a protection case, then it will survive. So we won't do that with the phone. We will start doing crazy things with it. So we'll just shoot it up in the air. Boof. Well, as expected, the phone survived without any issues. And it even did film a very cool high speed. Now we're gonna do some light dog food can shooting. Okay. Did I win a prize? Of course it survived, but I must have stopped the camera when I muzzle loaded it. My fault, probably. In any case, not a scratch. Next thing what we will do is we will shoot it against the hard steel reinforced wooden box, and then it will definitely ricochet and then land on the stones here. So, and that will be the last test for shooting the phone itself. After that we will shoot at it. Phone is completely okay, as you see, nothing wrong with it, but actually there is a huge hole Not a huge hole, but a hole in the box. We will actually put this into this super hot ballistic gelatin, let it harden, and then try to use it as a shield for protection tomorrow. And this will also show us if it's really watertight. Okay. 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 It obviously survived the bath in the really hot ballistic gelatin, which has by now been fully hardened. And I actually topped it off with some more of it so that it actually forms a solid block, which it does really, pretty much. So first we need to check if it still turns on, and we will do that with a toothpick. It turns on. See, it has some messages for me. It's actually a little bit not easy to see because the gelatin is pretty opaque, but it works. And we are starting with the coolest airgun in history, I think. The FX Impact M3 with a Hawk scope. In the Germany legal 7.5 Joule, 5.5 foot-pound version, so it's not too strong. It's 177 caliber. Yeah, as you can see, the pellets actually hit the phone inside of the gelatin. So they touched it. I can't really see any damage. So I would think that it would still run. I needed to put something more substantial in to really press the button. There it is. Just working fine. So next we are using this homemade slingshot from a birch tree that the storm brought down. Actually, there's a video how I made it. And it's got double Theoband gold, and we'll be shooting 50mm steel bolts. Okay. Very interesting. I hit the same hole twice, so you can see them sticking in behind each other. Definitely they touched the case. You can see the entry wounds. Yeah, no problem. So next we're gonna use this amazing new product, the Whipshot from EK Archery, which is a full-blown Fenris with a red dot sight, with 6 arrows in the magazine, and all for 450 euros. It's almost, the first shipment is almost sold out. I'll put the link down there for you anyhow. I think it's a great product, and I'm very proud that my little invention is now commercially so successful. Bing. Okay, never underestimate ballistic gelatin, because actually the arrows didn't penetrate deep enough. In standard, the Whipshot is adjusted to a very light 30 pounds of a draw weight, so it's very easy to cock. But of course, as you saw, it's not super powerful. But that can be changed by increasing the tension on the limbs, simply by turning these in on both sides. And then the bow has 50 pounds. Well, as you see, the first one was actually sliding off a little bit, so but the other one hit right on and definitely touched the backside of it. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Na, die Spitze steckt. Okay. Ja, es lebt. Yes, it is alive, even though it's very hard to tell now. Now comes the last test of the day, because we're going to use this really powerful 210-pound crossbow that gets like 150 foot-pounds, 200 joule of energy. And we're using the Shartac single-beveled 375 grain broadhead that is supposed to twist as soon as it hits the phone. If this thing doesn't destroy it, then I don't know. Then I give up. This phone is dead. Yeah. Thing's pretty clear. Went straight to the entire phone. Okay. You can see that the arrow tip is also in here. Actually, the whole thing is very hot, and as you can see, it partially melted the ballistic gelatin already. Okay. See how tough this case is. Okay. Got the tip out. Okay, I've cleaned up my fingers and the phone as good as I could. It's actually still smelling. I think it's from the battery inside. But again, so actually two of the weaker arrows did touch the rear part and probably just jumped back because you can see the dots here. Then you can see the stronger bolts from the full setting. But I still find it remarkable how well the screen held together. I mean, it didn't fall into pieces. It's still holding in somehow one piece. So, very funny. Ulefone actually sent me another one. Yes, I got two, because I am seriously in love with this telephone. I mean, it is rugged, it is manly, the battery lasts forever. I love the FM radio. I love the fact that I can connect an endoscope to it. I love the distance measuring device. And I love the overall approach. I also love the price, even though I got it for free. Whereas you have to pay around 400 euros for it. I put the Amazon links for America, UK and Germany into the text description. And if you use them, I will get a share. Just a little bit of it, but I would really appreciate it. I hope that you like this, because that's it for today. Thanks and bye-bye.